Hey guys, welcome back to this place, and if you are new, then welcome here for the very first time. I am Carmen.
I'm Calvin.
And today we are watching Season 2, Episode 17 of Avatar: The Last Airbender, as you already saw in the title. We are coming off of a very fucking sad episode.
2 in a row.
Yeah, that's true. And
I cried the previous to last one. And then Carmen got her comeuppance in the last one.
Comeuppance? I was not making fun of you for crying. I was comforting
You were like,
you.
oh, babe, you're crying. That's so cute.
Hey, I always cry, so I kind of not enjoy, but like...
You enjoyed it. You enjoyed the experience, the sensation of like... This is what people watch. I see. That was kind of fun.
You remember how much I cried during, I won't say anything for spoiler reasons, a certain episode of Stargate SG-1?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were smiling then too.
You were inconsolable.
If you have seen that episode, you know why.
Wasn't smiling because I thought her crying was funny. I was smiling in a, yeah, I know, it sucks kind of way. And then you kept crying. And I was like...
It was very upsetting. It was incredibly upsetting what happened during that.
We didn't watch Stargate for like close to a month.
I had to recover. Anyway, we are not here to talk about Stargate SG-1. We are here to talk about Avatar and to watch Avatar.
You brought it up. Mm-hmm.
And
Avatar.
Mm-hmm. So let's just do that and get right into it and enjoy. Hopefully not cry. Hopefully not cry. Aww. Sokka's trying to do like missing posters. They all look different.
We found a printer to make our posters.
Oh, that looks really good.
Hey, I thought designing the Lost Appa poster was my job. I've been working all day on my Appa.
Sokka, the arrow was on Appa's head.
This is his head.
It looks just like him to me.
Thank you. I worked really... Why do you feel the need to do that?
I hope Pao pays you well.
Good tea is its own reward.
But it doesn't have to be the only reward. How would you like to have your own tea shop?
My own tea shop? This is a dream come true.
I'll provide you with a new apartment in the upper ring. The tea shop is yours to do whatever you want. Complete creative freedom.
I even get to name the shop?
Of course.
Senior executive assistant manager?
Dude, it's a losing fight.
Did you hear, nephew? This man wants to give us our own tea shop in the upper ring of the city.
I'll try to contain my joy.
Yeah. I was like, they're gonna find the Appa flyers, right? Yep.
Has anyone come in with news about Appa?
It's only been a day. Just be patient.
Wow, you're right. Patience really pays off.
But you disappeared at the Earth King's party.
Oh, I simply took a short vacation to Lake Laogai, out in the country.
But then they replaced you with some other woman who also said her name was Judy.
I'm Judy. You are absolutely forbidden by the rules of the city to continue putting up posters.
We don't care about the rules and we're not asking permission. We're finding Appa on our own and you should just stay out of our way.
Who wrote it?
Now let's break some rules!
You don't have to break the house.
I don't think I can keep working like this.
Judy, the Earth King has invited you to Lake Laogai.
I am honored to accept his invitation.
It's like a trigger word.
So I was thinking about names for my new tea shop. How about the Jasmine Dragon?
That's cool.
The Avatar's here in Ba Sing Se, and he's lost his bison.
We have a chance for a new life here. If you start stirring up trouble, we could lose all the good things that are happening for us.
Good things that are happening for you. Have you ever thought that I want more from life than a nice apartment and a job serving tea?
There's nothing wrong with a life of peace and prosperity.
Katara?
Jet.
I think I can help you. Katara, I've changed!
Tell it to some other girl, Jet.
Stabbies.
We can't trust anything Jet says.
But we don't even know why he's here.
I don't care why he's here. Whatever the reason is, it can't be good.
I'm here to help you find Appa.
Yeah, but why are you here originally?
We have to give him a chance.
I swear I've changed. I was a troubled person and I let my anger get out of control. But I don't even have the gang now. I've put all that behind me.
He's not lying.
How can you tell?
I can feel his breathing and heartbeat. When people lie, there's a physical reaction.
But we're not letting you out of our sight.
Me as Katara.
They took that big thing yesterday. Shipped him out to some island. About time. I've been cleaning up fur and various leavings all day.
What island? Where's Appa?
Some rich royal type on Whale Tail Island bought him up. Guess for a zoo or such. Though, could be the meat'd be good.
It's near the South Pole, almost all the way back home.
Oh gosh.
We have a chance to find Appa. We have to try.
Was this guy your boyfriend or something?
What? No!
I can tell you're lying.
Jet! I thought you said you didn't have your gang anymore.
I don't.
We were so worried. How did you get away from the Dai Li?
The Dai Li?
I don't know what she's talking about.
He got arrested by the Dai Li a couple weeks
He's
ago.
been brainwashed, right?
This doesn't make any sense. They're both telling the truth.
Because he was brainwashed. All he has to do is believe he's telling the
because
truth.
They both think they're telling the truth. Jet's been brainwashed.
That's crazy. It can't be.
I know, right? Like, it's so ominous the way they surrounded him.
Maybe Katara could kiss him. That should bring something back.
Maybe you should kiss him, Sokka.
Hey, just an idea.
A bad one.
He's so jealous even in the midst of everything. He's like, oh, it's that guy. We've seen him before.
No. It's too painful. They took me to a headquarters under the water, like a lake.
Wait, remember what Judy said? She
Laogai.
said she went on vacation to Lake Laogai.
That's it. Lake Laogai.
So it is a real place.
It's all starting to come back to me.
I'm Judy. Welcome to Ba Sing Se.
I'm Judy. Welcome to Ba Sing Se.
Creepy.
I think it's through here.
Expecting someone else?
I was like, oh my gosh, reunion. Don't you hurt him, Zuko. I'm gonna have to hate you.
Now that's something different.
You have made yourselves enemies of the state. Take them into custody.
We're like, bats.
All right, Avatar. You've caused me enough problems. This is your last chance. If you want your bison back.
You do have Appa.
Wow.
You're in no position to bargain.
Am I not?
You're definitely not.
Jet, the Earth King has invited you to Lake Laogai.
Yeah.
I am honored to accept his invitation.
You're mine now. Uncle?
Pyro.
So, the Blue Spirit. I wonder who could be behind that mask. What do you plan to do now that you've found the Avatar's bison? Keep it locked in our new apartment? Should I go put on a pot of tea for him?
First, I have to get it out of here.
And then what? You never think these things through. This is exactly what happened when you captured the Avatar at the North Pole. You had him, and then you had nowhere to go.
I would have figured something out.
If his friends hadn't found you, you would have frozen to death. Is it your own destiny? Or is it a destiny someone else has tried to force on you?
Stop it, Uncle. I have to do this.
I'm begging you, Prince Zuko. It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
You don't have to do this!
I'm afraid he no longer has a choice.
There's gotta be like a undo word, you know?
He can't make you do this! You're a freedom fighter!
I heard that big guy.
Do it! Do it now!
I was gonna say. Did I hit him?
I'm sorry, Aang.
Don't be.
Is he dying? Or is he just hurt? Oh yeah, she has healing stuff.
This isn't good.
You guys go and find Appa. We'll take care of Jet.
We're not gonna leave you.
There's no time. Just go. We'll take care of him. He's our leader.
That guy just talked. He never talks. I feel a little bit bad too. I'm not gonna lie. What if Zuko and them help and they bring Appa and then Appa flies them all away? Appa's coming. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Get him, Appa. Appa's like, I fucking hate y'all. Squish him, Appa. Eat him. Eat him. Squish him. Squish him. Squish him. Eat him. Squish him. Eat him. Squish him.
I can handle you by myself.
Ha! You're not doing shit. He skipped you like a rock. That's actually his foot, not just his shoe.
Right.
I missed you, buddy.
What happened to Zuko and Iroh, though? They obviously let him free.
You did the right thing, nephew. Leave it behind.
What does that mean for Zuko and Iroh going forward?
Well,
Yes.
what did you think?
Why are you doing it like that? Stop it! I thought it was good. It was a little bit of a break from all of the crying, so that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very happy that we have Appa back now, and he is with Aang and Sokka and Katara and Toph, and that he is free. I do kind of wish that he had just squished Clancy Brown, Longfang, instead of tossing him into the water, but it was funny to see him skip him like a little rock.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in this episode of where Zuko and Iroh are going to go from here, because I think that it's what Iroh said to Zuko is very true. You know, he's getting to the age where he needs to decide who he is and who he wants to be, and he gets to choose his own destiny, right? I think that for so long Zuko has let who his father said he should be, who Azula said he was, other people, probably especially his dad, said that he was and should be, affect him, you know? He's like, it's my destiny, it's my destiny. And now Iroh's like, you know what? Like, just choose your own destiny. Like, you get to decide that. You get to decide who you are and who you want to be. And we have this chance to live a different life, to be happy and peaceful, and we don't have to fight. We don't have to do the things that we thought we had to do. And I'm sure for Iroh that seems like really nice, especially because, you know, he's lived a long life of fighting, and all it's ever gotten him was, you know, the death of his son. And I think Iroh, more than anybody, understands that glory in battle and in military, right? He's the Dragon of the West. Doesn't really mean anything when you don't have anybody to share it with, you know? Like, he doesn't get to, like, celebrate his son's birthday with him. I think that Iroh would trade all of his glory in battle for another minute with his son, another day, another hour, you know? So I think that it's one of those things that it's kind of cool, because I think Avatar is, in a lot of ways, kind of a coming-of-age story. You know, we're watching these characters grow up and decide the people that they want to be. And so often in real life, we sort of ignore our elders, I guess, right? Like, it's very difficult when you're a certain age to be able to look at your life in an objective way and to understand that there are people who know so much more than you, who you should listen to and who know what they're talking about. It's very hard to see outside of yourself, I guess, when you're, especially like Zuko's age and stuff. Yeah. So it's good to see him listen to Iroh and to understand, like, yeah, my uncle knows more than me. Yeah. What he's saying makes sense.
It's difficult for us as people in general to understand that, like, what you're living through right now, someone else has lived through this exact same thing, and they know what they would have done had they gone through it already. You know, they have the experience, and Zuko just needs to pay attention. Yeah. And just listen to his uncle. Like, his uncle wants him to have a better life than he had. Yeah. He wants him to be out from under the pressure and tyranny of the Fire Nation.
And especially his dad, right?
And yeah.
Because Iroh has said multiple times, you know, like, he understands firsthand who Ozai is. Yeah. Like, who he really is. And I think that Zuko, like we talked about before, has a little bit, even though he understands who his father is, he has a little bit of rose-colored glasses, right? Because that's his dad, and he wants to believe in the good, and he's kind of willing to overlook the bad a little bit. Whereas Iroh can look at it more objectively and be like, no, this is bad, you know?
Zuko has also spent his entire life competing
for his father's affection.
With and for the wrong things. Yeah. Like, he's competed his whole life against his sister, who, you know, he'll never match, you know?
No, not in battle, at least.
And he's spent his whole life competing to get the affection that he deserves.
That he should be freely given without having to fight for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
he never will.
No.
He's spent his whole life, you know, trying to live up to what he thinks, like, is the the right thing to do because, you know, the Fire Nation is this great conquering power, you know, we should keep conquering, we should keep ruling everyone.
Yeah.
But, like, does Ozai seem particularly happy? Does Azula?
No. That's the thing. They don't, and I think that's kind of what Iroh was saying too in this episode, right? Like, you didn't have a life before. Like, you know, you were living, but you were living for this one sole purpose. And, like, okay, let's say that you defeat...
You were living to serve.
Let's say he defeats the Avatar. Then what? Like, there's still, like, he's never going to get to, like, have a life. Like, what Iroh's saying that they have here that they didn't have in the Fire Nation is the chance to have a life.
Yeah.
Not to just be a soldier, but to, you know, go on a date like Zuko did with just a regular girl, and to make tea and have a tea shop, which you can't do when you're royalty or whatever. You can't just do whatever you want.
Just have the simple things.
Yeah. Just be happy. And I really do want that for Iroh and Zuko. I do still have this hope that Zuko can join Team Avatar in the fight against Ozai. At some point, maybe that's his destiny, maybe. But if it is, then he gets to choose that, you know? Like, I like Supernatural, obviously, you know, y'all know, everybody knows.
And didn't know.
And one of the big things in Supernatural, as we know, is their team free will, right? They want free will over destiny. Like, Dean's like, you know, we get to choose. That's the thing. And I think that is such a powerful thing to realize, that you get to choose your destiny, you know? Like, it doesn't have to be this thing that's laid out for you. It doesn't have to be what your dad wants you to do or what your mom wants you to do or whoever. Like, you can choose that. And I think that is that Zuko's realizing, like, yeah, like, screw destiny. Like, or I hope he's realizing that, you know, it seems like I get to choose who I want to be. And I don't know, I really loved that scene with Appa and Zuko and Iroh, just because I feel like it was such an important scene. Like,
our nap alarm from yesterday.
Anyway, yeah, I really liked that. I love that Zuko let Appa go, and he didn't choose to use that as a way to get the Avatar. He just was like, we're gonna let Appa go. Like I said in the moment, I was like, if you hurt Appa, Zuko, I'm gonna have to look at you differently, because, like,
yeah, I mean, like,
it's not acceptable.
Iroh was forcing Zuko to take a deep look at himself. Like, what kind of person do you want to be? Mm-hmm. Like, if you do this, what kind of person will you see yourself as from now on?
Yeah, like, what
are you willing to become that person to achieve the destiny that you have been told is yours, but not the one that you've chose?
Yeah. And I think, too, what I liked...
I really like that talk that
did.
Iroh gives them.
I mean, I did, too, obviously.
Like, no!
Still take.
You get to choose your destiny!
Well, I like, too, that Iroh pointed out, he's like, you do these things and you don't think it through, Zuko. Like, okay, what's next? You get Appa. You didn't even think of how to get him out. You're like, I'm going to go there and I'm going to get him. Okay, how? Like, you didn't... You just did it. You're impulsive. Like, you would have died if the Avatar's friends hadn't found you and Aang. Because, like, what were you doing?
If your enemy hadn't found you in a compromised position, you would have died.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I knew what I was doing. No, you didn't. You didn't. That's Iroh's point, is he's like, you're not thinking before you're acting. And, like, part of thinking is, like you said, like, you have to decide, like, what kind of person are you? What are you willing to do to get the things that you want? Who are you willing to hurt? Are you willing to hurt people, you know? Are you willing to hurt this air bison, you know? Are you willing to hurt Aang by hurting this air bison? Like, what are you doing? And I think that, I mean, always, I think that Zuko just so benefits from having Iroh as his father figure, role model. Like, again, Iroh is the dad that he deserved, not the one that he got. But he's also the one that he chose, in a way, you know? Iroh chose Zuko, and Zuko chose Iroh. And it's so much better of a family than kind of the ones that they had. Well, I mean, Iroh loved his son, and I think Iroh's son was probably a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, like, the families that they had after that, you know, like, after Zuko's mom left and Iroh's son passed away, they just had each other, and thank God they did, you know, because otherwise, I don't know who either of them would have become. Grief can do a lot of things to somebody, you know.
Sure. Yeah. And if you don't have that outlet, you know. We know that Iroh was always good with, you know, the kids when they were younger. You know, when he was sieging Ba Sing Se, he was still like
sending them gifts.
Sending gifts and
Although,
letters.
How close was he to Azula? He sent her a doll.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he had been away for a long time.
It reminded me of...
But she was also spoiled and unappreciative of anything.
Well, I was going to say, it reminded me of Game of Thrones when Ned got Sansa the doll in season 1, and she's like, I haven't played with dolls since I was 8. You know, but then we see later in the season or something, she's like using the doll. She's clinging to it for comfort later when, you know, other stuff happens that I won't spoil. But she's like clinging to it for comfort. So, you know, but it kind of reminded me of that when I saw that scene. Because to move on from Zuko and Iroh, I guess, I did actually gain some compassion for Jet in this episode. Shocking, I know. Well, the thing is, it's not that I dismissed Jet completely. It's that he hadn't proven that he had changed. And in this episode, I feel that he proved that he had changed.
Yeah.
And so now I have more compassion for him because he showed himself to be a different person, you know, than he used to be. I don't know if he's dead now. Like, it kind of seemed like it, but I don't know. Because he said, like, oh, it's okay, we'll take care of him, he'll be fine. And then as they're leaving, Toph's like, yeah, they're lying. So they know that he's not going to be fine.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it seems like it's saying to me, that he's, you know, going to pass away from this. And I can understand, like, they didn't show it because kids' cartoon, you know, just kind of allude to it so you know that that's what happened. But I think that, I don't know, it's kind of sad if Jet really did come to Ba Sing Se for a better life, to try to change and be a better person, which it seems now that he did. Like, that's how he dies, you know, coming to the place he tried to go to be better and do better.
I mean, he came to the place and then he became a better person, so...
I couldn't believe that one guy talked. That was the most shocking thing of all. Like,
long shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he started talking, like, it took me a few seconds because I was like, wait.
Yeah.
There were words coming out of his
I
mouth.
could tell that you didn't process it at first, that he was talking. That the words that were being heard were him.
Yeah, it took me a second because I was like, wait, what? That was the long shot? He's talking. I like the Jasmine Dragon as a name for a tea shop. It's pretty cool. I would go there. And what else? I liked that they put up flyers and to see Sokka's attempt at drawing Appa. That was really funny.
It's about like one of my drawings.
No, you draw so much better than that. That is a lie.
I really don't.
That's a lie. He draws so much better than that. It's like one of my drawings. I also found, the Judy thing was creepy anyway, and they just like double, triple down on the creep factor of that, I think.
Yep.
Like, they have just a room of these girls who, like, where do they take them from? Where do they come from? Do they agree to this? Like, do they understand? Probably not. They're being brainwashed, you know? So it's creepy. And, like, what did he make that Judy girl do? Like, the first one, when he said the Laogai thing, right? Because we saw that it made Jet fight for him. But, like, where did she go? Because she just, like, left the room, but where did she go?
I think because she was, like, breaking character. She was, like, struggling emotionally and psychologically.
You think he just put her back into her character?
I think he just, like...
Just, like, reset her.
A little bit, yeah.
This really does honestly remind me of Westworld. Like, just seeing them all there and they're, like, being told this one thing and then, like, oh, they get a little bit out of line, reset, back in character, back on your loop, you know? Anyway, my point was that those Judy people were really creepy and also very sad because I'm pretty sure they did not volunteer for this. And, like...
I mean, they may have.
But maybe. If they did, I don't think they understood the full... maybe they volunteered and, like, the fact that, like, they don't really have a choice.
Yeah, sure.
But
like,
to
do you
volunteer,
want to be of service to the Emperor?
Or do you want
the
to,
Earth
like...
King? Yeah, sure. All right.
Or it could be like, do you want to help your city, or do you want to live outside Ba Sing Se where there's a war going on? You're not safe out there. You know,
they can't talk about that.
I mean, they could say that to them, and then they would be like, I mean, they're the government people. They can say whatever they want. They just can get upset when the little
they
peasant
can't
people.
Threaten people with setting them outside the wall if there's a war going on.
They could.
I mean, they could just imprison them. They don't want to put them out there.
No, I mean, they're not going to, babe. I'm saying that could be the threat. It's not like they have to follow through. I'm just saying they could have said multiple things. Not that they mean these things that they say.
I mean, if they're saying that there's no war,
they say there's no war in the walls of Ba Sing Se. They don't deny that there's a war outside of it. You already told me that.
Do.
You know, you told me in the last episode that they know that there's a war going on outside.
They do know, but no one will admit it because if they even talk about any war or anything, they get arrested.
Yeah, but I'm saying the government isn't upholding to the same rules of their citizens.
Yeah, but they still don't want to go around spreading talk about the war and stuff.
Yeah, but they're not. You're not understanding me.
Okay, but
I was just
do you think the government is going to threaten people with aliens if they don't be quiet?
You're not understanding.
But you see what I mean?
Yes,
like, the government says the aliens aren't real, so are they going to threaten people with aliens if they don't follow the law?
It's not really the same thing, though. It's like if we lived in a place where they're like, yes, there are aliens outside of this place, but they're not in this place. It's not that they're denying that aliens exist. They're just saying that they don't exist inside the city that you're in.
No, they deny that there's a war, and they silence anyone who talks about it.
That's not what you said in the other episode.
It is, babe. If I didn't communicate it well, I'm sorry, but that...
No, because I said that they're saying that does that mean that the citizens don't know that there's a war going on outside because the people deny it? And you said, no, they know that there's a war. They're just not allowed to talk about it. But now you're saying they're denying the existence of a war.
Those are not contradictory. Okay, they're denying the existence of a war. They're saying, don't talk about it. It doesn't exist. It's still happening. Thus, they're saying, don't talk about it.
But you're not. Am I not articulating myself well? Because
am I not?
Because I'm saying there's a difference in saying aliens are real, but we're gonna pretend they're not. But you know that they are, but we're just gonna pretend that they're not. Versus saying, no, aliens are not real. So there's a difference in saying, we know that there's a war outside.
Okay,
we don't talk about the war in here. We do not acknowledge it. Versus, there's no war. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's to control the population.
I know, but...
It's to keep people from... They're sweeping it under the rug, babe.
Do y'all understand what we're saying? Because I feel like we're saying... I feel like I'm very confused now as to where I thought that I understood. I thought everybody knows that there's a war outside the walls of Ba Sing Se. The government says, no, there's not, knowing that the citizens know and they know that there is, but we're just not going to acknowledge it.
Yes.
Okay, but that's not what you just said a minute ago.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You said that they were saying that there was no war and that there was no war, which is different than saying, you know and we know that there's no war, but we're not going to acknowledge it.
Babe.
Y'all watch this and explain to me if he was articulating that well and I'm crazy, or not, because I feel like the alien conversation took it to a confusing place.
I feel like the alien conversation was different from this one, but I feel like that was an appropriate analogy.
No, because the thing is,
Hold on. Like, a dictatorship will say that a massacre didn't happen.
Well, or like
everyone knows that it happened.
Like the
but
Armenian
they're saying,
genocide?
Sure. But they don't want anyone to talk about it, so they say it didn't happen. If you go against us, we will arrest you and you will disappear.
I understand that, but where the alien conversation takes it is like, it makes it confusing, and I'll probably cut some of this. I'm just saying that because our government would say that there is no such thing as aliens. Yeah,
but then that is something that we know that they do. We don't know if there is aliens or not.
Exactly.
So in that way it fails, but you were saying that it made sense for them to threaten sending them outside where there's a war.
Because they all know that there's a war. Just because they're agreeing not to talk about it doesn't mean that they aren't aware that there is a war.
But it is counterproductive to them saying that there isn't a war.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But if they already have the person, I was just saying that's one example, by the way. You didn't let me continue with other examples of the ways that they could persuade people. But I'm just saying, if you know that you're going to brainwash this person, it doesn't matter if you acknowledge that there's a war.
It takes a long time to brainwash someone.
What you're doing is harboring or inciting fear. Either you work for us, or you know that war that we protect you from, that we don't acknowledge. We'll give you to the wolves.
They're trying to keep people from being afraid. They're trying to make the city tranquil and stuff.
No, I'm talking about the Judys in particular. It doesn't matter what they say to them. They're going to brainwash all of them anyway.
Them, yeah.
That's who I was talking about.
You were talking about the people.
No, babe, I was talking about the Judys. We were talking about the Judys in particular. That's who I was talking about the whole time. We were talking about the different ways that they could get the girls that became the Judys.
Yeah, but they brainwashed them anyway.
Exactly, so it doesn't matter.
Threatening them doesn't matter.
But that's a way that they could get them to agree to come with them in the first place, was my only point.
Jet wasn't a willing participant.
I know, but you can't exactly steal young women from their homes without their parents being a little bit upset about it. Maybe.
Why not?
Because they have parents.
It's a totalitarian government.
I mean, yeah, it's possible. I'm just saying, if we're talking about ways that they could get them to willingly come with them without raising a fuss. Anyway, this has been very long. It doesn't really matter. I think that that's all that we have to say. I loved Aang and Appa's reunion. Mm-hmm. It's everything that I wanted. Appa is free now. I kind of wish that he had bitten Long Fang's foot off and not just his shoe, because he would have deserved it and it would have been fine to watch him hobble around.
Kid show.
Eat him. Eat him. I want to see all his blood and bones coming out of Appa's mouth.
This is an Attack on Titan.
In that moment, I wish it was. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that we had such a long conversation. We'll see how much of it I can cut out for you guys so you don't have to just listen to that. I don't know. If you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. It does help me out with the algorithm and everything if you do these things. What?
It's just funny if you do these things.
You can also watch the next episode right now over on Patreon, which is linked in the description below, and it is
patreon.com/
Carmen Young, which is the name of the channel. So if you don't know how to spell it, that's how you spell it. And
yeah. Also the link's down in the description. So it's literally just a
that is true.
If you have a scroll wheel, which if you're using a mouse without a scroll wheel in this day and age,
Do those
You have
even
like
exist?
one of those weird Apple mice where the whole mouse is a button, and you just like, and it clicks. Like, this thing's
Anyway.
bullshit. If you hate Apple mice, like the video.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Bison.
Ooh, actually, that would work.